Everyone knows coffee wakes you up and promotes alertness. But what if I told you that I use it to not only get deeper sleep, but better meditations? I noticed that no matter when I took it, coffee gave me this predictable weight of energy for like 4 to 6 hours. Normally people crash and hate that, right? But I thought, what if I use that crash? What if I schedule my crash right when I want to sleep? So instead of waiting until I'm tired at the 14, 16 hour mark of the day, I drink coffee around hour 10 or 12. What happens is my tiredness gets delayed artificially, and then when the coffee wears off, boom, I'm slammed with sleep pressure like a fucking truck. That steep drop is the key to what I'm about. So you're not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs while the coffee is acting. No, you want to use that caffeine window for breath work, stretching. That's what I find works the most, and also like running or some physical activity, right? And meditation. I'm gonna show a graph to visualize what I'm saying because I feel like it's gonna help you out to see. Because normally you're gonna ask me like, what's the point of drinking coffee? I could just stay up asleep, right? Well, that would mean that you will have to stay up for longer, right? And what if you can't afford that? What if you have to go to sleep but you can't? This is why the coffee is good. So I have a graph to show you what I'm talking about visually. So normally sleep pressure builds gradually and you feel mildly tired around 16 hours, right? So you would drink coffee around hour 10 or 12, so you will feel artificially alert, and then you hit a sharp cliff when it wears off. That steep drops triggers intense sleepiness as your brain has built up more sleep pressure behind the scenes. So the first thing we have is the adenosine rebound. Coffee blocks adenosine receptors. Adenosine is the sleep pressure chemical. So once caffeine wears off, adenosine flows back in, causing a crash. And this is the sword to back me up. So the second thing is the caffeine half-life. The average half-life is 4 to 6 hours or longer if you're sensitive. So if you drink coffee around 10 or 12, it's mostly worn off by bedtime, around 16 hours in of you being awake. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. ChatGPT wrote this one. I don't care about Reddit, but yeah, I didn't even know that. That's good for you guys, I guess. Read this. So this is the main argument people are going to have, and you could pause it and read it. But basically, you could just stay up late, and that works too. But what if you don't have the time to wait to stay like 24 hours or 36 hours, right? If you do this right, you could condense that 36 hours into 16 to 18. You know what I mean? Because as you see here, once the receptors, wear off that are blocked, you're just gonna get that pressure in instead of gradually getting, because you can fight if you gradually want to stay up for like, let's say 24 hours, you could gradually fight that off. But like when you crash with caffeine, it's hard to fight that off. I mean, you could still fight it off, and I want to talk about that in another video, but anyways, that's it, what I have for that. So okay, so you drank your coffee and now what, right? For those of you that are really sensitive, and even if you take coffee like let's say in the morning, you can't fall asleep at night, or whatever, like the whole day is just affecting you. It's because you don't do anything with it, right? So what you want to do, you want to sit and scroll on your phone, right? You want to do some physical activity like we mentioned before. I find that running works a lot, but a lot of you work out, you do bodybuilding or whatever it is, but believe it or not, stretching is a good way that I found that I could harness this active stretching, breathing in deeply, just being in the moment and taking that energy and transmuting up the spine. And again, if you don't know how to do this, you can look it up, or I could make a video on how I do it. I'm not going to say that I have some method that hasn't been invented or whatever, but I'll tell you how I do it. So to close this off, we have this, right? We're going to drink coffee around hour 10 or 12 hours of being awake. You're going to use that energy window for spiritual practices, whatever you want. active spiritual practice, right? You don't want to do a meditation where you're sleeping, although you can, you can really, there's no limitations here, but I'm saying like you want to use that solar active energy that the coffee gave you and transmute it, right? And then get tired. Then when you get tired, you can do your deeper meditations or other things, right? Or crash into sleep, as it says here that I wrote, or ChatGPT wrote. And then you're gonna wake up clearer, stronger, more like that's actually true, right? You're gonna go into like a deep slumber once you actually crash. And if you have like a sleep watch or some sleep tracker, you could see that you're gonna be doing more deep sleeping, right? And if you haven't got a lot of deep sleep, this is gonna help you a lot. All right, so that's it. Hope you guys like the video. Peace.